I have 90 rental units, and I'm starting to realize that not all units are created the same. Some give me problems, some are great to hold. So today I'm going to start auditing my portfolio to figure out which properties are holding me back and which ones are moving me forward. This video is for you if you've ever been interested in rental real estate and you've been wondering how do I know if a property makes sense? Or if you have a portfolio and you're trying to figure out what the heck to do with it. So why am I doing this? I'm doing this because every single year I question my involvement in real estate. I question how big the portfolio is, which properties I should keep. And I've never been able to figure it out because there's emotion involved and there are so many factors. What I've discovered is that you can't make the decision based on profitability. You can't make it based on tenants alone. You can't make it based on maintenance. Like it's all these different factors that play into the decision. And I've never been able to do it on my own without help. So this year I'm doing something different. And I'm like, why don't I have AI help me? Because AI will be able to help me see through all the noise. Because even if a property is making money, it can be appreciating. It can be on the surface doing what it's supposed to do. The raw numbers don't talk about the headache behind running the business. And some properties are just bigger headaches than others. And I'm I'm gonna use AI to remove our emotion from the decision and just look at the raw data. So what I did this year, instead of just going off vibes, I went to ChatGPT and I said, this is the problem that I'm having. I have this big old portfolio. I can't tell which properties are working and which ones are not. Because what happens when you have a lot of properties is that the winners pay for the losers. And so you may still come out on top at the end of the year, but you could have been even more profitable if you got rid of some of the losers. So I went to ChatGPT and I said, help me figure this out. What categories do I need to create for AI to be able to help me make this decision? And so what you see here is me setting up Airtable, which is just a database basically with all the categories that ChatGPT suggested. And then I went ahead and put all the data in manually, like literally off the top of my head. There were only a couple of categories that I had to go look up, and that was the maintenance burden because I wanted the actual numbers. But everything else is kind of going off vibes, like what I know off the top of my head. And that was important because there's another piece that doesn't show up in the numbers, and that is the emotional toll, like the emotional cost to holding certain properties. And so what I mean by that is how easy is it to run said property? Is it a minor annoyance? Do I have concerns? Am I immediately stressed when I even hear that address? So I kind of wanted to take all those factors in place and mainly because I'm no longer interested in scaling. I'm no longer interested in being a owner of 90 rental properties. What my goal is now is what is this because rental real estate is going to be a headache. It doesn't matter where it is, how great there's going to be some headache. And so what I'm trying to do is reduce my headache. And that means reducing my overall portfolio, getting rid of some of the losers, getting rid of the ones that are hard as hell to run, just taking an overall look at which properties increase my capacity and which ones decrease my capacity. And so increasing my capacity looks like making more money, easy to run, great appreciation, great tenants, like just overall a positive experience. If I have to spend more and more hours making a certain property run, basically forcing it into submission, then I need to look at whether or not I need to own it or not going forward. So took all that into consideration, put everything put everything in the spreadsheet, and then I had ChatGPT create a prompt for me to drop into Cloud Code. All of my agents are running on Cloud Code, sitting on a Mac Mini here on my desk. And so I had ChatGPT create the actual prompt. Since it knows all the setup, what is the prompt that I need to tell my other AI agent so that it can determine the classification, the next step, and give me an explanation of why I should take that. And so that's what you're about to see me run live. And at the end, I'm going to get a recommendation on what I should keep, what I should sell, and what should I do next. Let me just zoom in so you can see. Okay, so what this is here, and I've zoomed in because it's still pretty small. But what this is here is the information from the Airtable loaded into the application that Claude created. So it took all the information that I already put in. It knows the data is captured. I don't know what this means just yet, but we will see. And it has like all of my what were those? The stressors? What did I call that? Those were called the not Claude. Those were called the friction points. Okay. So it has all the friction points down here and then it says pending audit. So it hasn't run the audit yet, but it does have all of the properties here. I'm not crazy about the color tone, but that's not all that important right now. So all right, so it has all the properties here. So I'm supposed to click run batch audit. Audit failed. Check console. Yeah, we are back. Claude would take today to be the day it went down. So let's click the button again and see if we get our audit. That looks better. It's analyzing. Ooh, we have answers here. It's analyzing each property. Still analyzing a few. Okay. I need to go over into Airtable and make sure everything populated there. Looks like it's still analyzing one. So here's the summary right here. Oh my goodness. Out of my 90 properties, and I think let's to be clear, if you're new here, I have multifamily. So some of these have 4 units, 3 units, 2 units, blah, blah, blah. That's how out of these 25 properties, that's how I get to 90. So it says I should keep only 7. I should improve 7. Okay, it's only saying sell 2. Okay, I thought it was saying like get rid of a whole bunch, which wouldn't have been a bad thing, but basically we have to look at the ones that say improve to see if I even have the energy to do that. Like, is it worth improving them? It's saying I should keep 7 off top, and so that would be, let's just call it 7 times 4. That would take my portfolio from 90 to 30. So that would be a huge change. But I do want to go through these things in detail. Let me look and see if any of these surprise me. I love those two. It says it's a sleeper. I agree with this. It's not performing up to snuff, but it has the ability to do so well. And that's part of the issue that I've been having, like trying to make these decisions without a real strategy to do so. It's like and that I feel like doesn't really explain the answer or why. So now I can actually go to my business partner and have a real conversation about what's strong and what should go. So let me see if anything surprises me. I mean, because it seems like Clyde nailed it. Like these are the things that I've been feeling, and now I actually have proof. So yes, this 2934. Why do I still own this? I'm actively trying to sell this property. So that's true. And I'll go through all the details one by one, but forever hold core. This one is right. On the surface, it doesn't seem like it's something I should have bought, but it is quietly holding it down. Like it's holding it down. People pay. The mortgage isn't that high. I mean, they're quiet. Like it's a quiet cash machine there. Okay. So some of these are saying on the watch list. So it sounds like what I should do is I need to go through the ones that are on the watch list and see if I want to do something about it or if it's just time to let go. The ones that say sell, quite honestly, is right on target because I've already reached out to my realtor and asked her to uh, put some things on the market for me. But I love that I have these details here. The only thing I have left to do is to see if the Airtable populated so that I can have all of it in one place. This is a grid format, which is good, kind of like an app, like if I wanted to send my business partners here or whatever. I love that it's here and they can read through everything, but I like a table format. Like I want to see all the keeps, all the sales, all the monitors. I want to see all of those in one place. So I don't see any huge surprises here. Like the data pretty much aligned with what I was thinking for some of them. I think the biggest validation is the one that I can't stand. It's Claude is also saying I should sell it. I mean, this is my biggest headache. That's my biggest headache. My second biggest headache property, let me find it and see right here, 25F. This is my second biggest headache, and it says it can turn around. And that is true also. Like if we got better tenants there, it's in a great neighborhood, it's townhouse style, so my expenses are low. This is a great turnaround candidate. Like that is true. It's my biggest headache, but if we kicked everyone out and started over, it may not be a headache anymore. But the realities of kicking everybody out, like that means I'm gonna have to pay the mortgage for multiple months until I can get it filled. That means I have to do turnarounds on units. It's a lot of financial decision that has to be made before you decide to just kick everybody out. And so, quite honestly, that has been a lifesaver to some of my tenants simply because I can't afford to kick everybody out and start over, although that's what my business is calling for. So our biggest headache, they kind of spotted that. And then are there any hidden gems here that I pretty much know the ones that they're quiet and they're doing their thing. Like if we could just this one right here is a little bit surprising. Like I wouldn't have considered it a quiet cash machine only because it's on a difficult street. Sometimes it's hard to feel it when I have a vacancy, but when it's full, it is rocking and rolling. So this building is actually a shock too because it's pretty quiet. The issue is that I've had a vacancy there for forever, so it's just not performing the way it could. But I think the biggest thing for me going forward is that I can't make decisions on my portfolio based on feelings and like properties that I want to own. Maybe I just shouldn't own them anymore. And so I'm glad to have like a solid method of making decisions and I no longer feel like, oh, well, what if this? What if that? It's like, no, the data is here. I've compared all the properties. And now we have an apples to apples comparison and what's giving me a headache and what's actually creating cash flow. And so I'm going to take all this information and get with my business partner and we're going to make some moves. And so throughout the year, it'll be interesting to see. I will keep you guys, of course, 100% up to date on what's going on and what am I selling because that's another leg of the journey, right? I've only sold one property. And so now trying to do a massive, I don't want to say massive, but trying to offload multiple properties, like how does that whole thing play out? Am I going to get the returns that I thought? How easy is it going to be to sell? And so I love that now I have the data that I need to boost my confidence to take the next step, right? I think once you acquire so many properties, like the last thing you want to do is sell your babies. So this helps me not look at them like babies and like to look at them as tangible items that either they support my lifestyle and where I'm going with my finances or they don't. I think my goal has shifted from trying to own a bunch of properties and now I just want to own the right properties. And like, I don't care if that takes me down to just having one. Like, that has not changed my experience. I've been a real estate investor for over 8 years now, and I can't be afraid to let go, and that can go across so many other walks of life. It's like, you get to a mountaintop, and it's like, when it's no longer working or it's not serving you or the plan isn't going, the way you thought it would, how do you let go? How do you release? And how do you optimize? So, thank you guys for sitting through this with me. And I hope that you are able to take away something that, like, I'm not an expert. I'm not the guru. I'm living and learning just like everybody else. I just so happen to have a bunch of properties and now I need to figure out what to do with them. So, even if you have one property or you just trying to get involved and you trying to understand how to assess properties, you can take the categories that AI helped me define to help you review your properties and the properties that you're interested in. So now I'm going to go back and go through the Airtable and do some categorization and make some pretty slides and make a whole thing so that we can understand what is actually happening in our portfolio. My name is Jerry, and if you're still here, do me a favor, go ahead and give that like button a smash. Keep building that confidence so you can keep building that cash. I make videos for ambitious people who want to build a life on their terms, and you can get a behind the scenes look at my businesses over on Substack at Confidence is Cash. And if you want the notes, the cheat sheet, the playbook behind this episode, there's a link in the description for the ASAP, which is the action steps and playbook. I create one for every single episode. So you'll want to check that out if you want to move from watching to taking action on some of the things I shared. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.